Hey guys, check it out. You're watching Jonathan Clarke on YouTube. Oh no. You know, the one thing about me that you guys have come to realize over time, because time is the most precious thing that we have, is that I love telling stories, and I love bringing stories to life. Stories about Cinderella, stories about Alice in Wonderland. Because the only hope I've ever seemed to have as a content creator was that I could bring those stories to life, and I could leave people at a loss for words. I could leave people feeling more inspired than ever before, so that they could take something special away from every video that I ever created, while giving people like Kylie Cantrell and Amelia Baker more of a chance at their futures, because their futures are going to be unbelievable, and we are all going to be a part of it. I think one of the most difficult things for fans of the original Descendants franchise to have to do, is to change with the times, because as it's been said many times over the generations, the decades, the centuries, we as fans, as the times change, have to change with the times no matter how difficult it is. And I think that a lot of people are becoming more acceptant, or at least that's what I want to believe, of the new cast because of their strength, because of how fearless they are, because of how they could tell stories of their individual characters and truly bring these stories to life. Because you can't lie. You felt captivated. At least 95% of the audience, even if only 85% of the audience were captivated, at least 95% of you were captivated from the first moment you saw The Rise of Red. That opening dance number that introduces the character Red really set the tone for what Descendants was going to be about. Friendships, how valuable time were, how you had the chance to fix some of your mistakes. There were so many life lessons that were taught to us in the first 15 minutes of Descendants: The Rise of Red. Maybe I was the only guy who ever realized that, because I seem to be the only guy who ever sits down and really reviews Descendants. And what I mean by really review Descendants is you have to go deeper than other reviewers, journalists, columnists, what have you, go with this franchise. They just simply look at the 90-minute production and they say, this should have happened, that never happened, I was upset because of this, I like this, and the things they liked are outnumbered by the things they critically review. I never wanted to be a part of these conversations, and if I was going to have a conversation with any fan of Descendants of Zombies, it was going to state 55 million things that I loved about Descendants of Zombies as opposed to 55 million things that I didn't like about Descendants of Zombies, because there really were 55 million things that I liked about Descendants. The costumes, the characters and their stories, how beautiful Red's hair was, how she was fearless, how she was so strong, the boot camp regimes they had to go through, how beautiful the set was, how it felt like a wicked Harry Potter kind of musical, how the music was so perfect it got stuck in your head. I can go on and on and on. But there are people out there that will never give this one much of a chance. If it was the last thing they did, they would die, never giving Descendants of Zombies much of a chance. But you know what's outshined that? It's been each and every one of you. And as long as each and every one of you continue to outshine this criticism, it gives me more incentive and more creative energy to keep on creating, to keep on going and moving forward with this franchise. Because I know that over 4,000 people have subscribed here because they've seen something cool in this loser who just used to play video games before all of you became a part of his life. You guys gave me more incentive and more of a chance to be heard and seen by more people than ever before. And I've always wanted you to know that you will never ever be forgotten by yours truly, because you guys made this happen for me. You guys put the magic into this YouTube channel, because I could just sit here and say, you know, I like this about Descendants, I like that about Descendants, this should have happened when this never happened, but I don't. I love telling you stories about my own life, how my neighbors may have been vampires, how my girlfriend may have been a vampire, how I contemplated shooting my werewolf because at one point, one critical point in my lifetime, I thought he was a werewolf. And that's a different story for a different time, I know, but are you laughing? I told you these stories because that's what brought this YouTube channel to life. You know, I could be one of those boring YouTube reviewers who has his chin on his hand as a chin support saying, okay, this happened for Descendants and that should have happened for Descendants and I was upset. What is the point of that? If you're going to talk about Descendants of Zombies, at least bring your videos to life. Make people more of a believer and more believers in zombie apocalypses and alien invasions than ever before, and see what you can do. Really allow them the chance to run away with their dreams, because I don't care who you are, everybody watching this video has a dream. And everybody just wants to get to that point where their dream is realized, where they realize they have a chance of really putting all their dreams into action. And I know that sounds very reminiscent of the theme song of Victorious, which I was a huge fan of. I thought Victoria Justice in her time was the most gorgeous actress that I ever had the chance to profile. And if there were 75 episodes of Victorious, I watched every single one of them, as I did iCarly, because I was a huge fan of iCarly. And iCarly will forever be credited to one of the reasons why I started up my own web show, although I did start up my own web show ever before iCarly premiered, because iCarly would have came out in, I think, 2007, so I was podcasting on radio shows and YouTube videos by at least 1999. By 2005, I had launched one of my first YouTube creations, and YouTube was very different years ago because it didn't really allow you the chance to go 4K or to go live. You didn't have as incredible of a reach as you do now. YouTube had this really big web marker at the bottom of your video. Your video could only be 10 minutes long. But now you have the chance to record a 45-minute review of Descendants of Zombies, which many of us have done, but none of us have really ever said anything of value in those videos. Because the one thing you've got to appreciate is how people watch these videos every night on their phone and their tablet. And because there's always that one little girl in a room watching these videos, that's what you've always got to think about. There's always that little girl or that teenager who's watching your video who just wants to hear something nice about her favorite stars. So why can't, if we've been on YouTube for over 25 years, correct me if I'm wrong, but if we've been on YouTube for over 25 years, how can we not say anything nice about this franchise? Why can't we just give that girl watching the video a reason to smash her subscribe button and to believe in Descendants of Zombies with all of her heart? Why do we have to sit here and take away every hope and dream that they've ever had? Why can't we just give them something to believe in, to feel stronger about people like Ruby, to believe in people like Kylie more than ever before? Because the reason why you watched the iHeartRadio Music Awards the other night was to see Kylie Control on the red carpet. Many of you watched the Grammys, who probably have never watched the Grammys before in your life, just to see Kylie Control's gown on the red carpet. And you were so proud to be a part of it, just so you could tell your friend on the phone, I saw Kylie Control wearing this beautiful gown, I saw photos of her online. There's nothing wrong with that. Why do we have to take away everybody's hope and dream of Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour ever happening because it's just a rumor apparently? You know what's going to happen, because if Disney can capitalize on the chance to put these stars further out there, they're going to do it. And Leg 2 of the Worlds Collide Tour is going to happen. It's been confirmed for September 25th in California, and it will go overseas. It will go in places like Mexico and Australia. It's going to be really fun for everybody to experience. People who have never had the chance to watch Camp Rock are going to go back on Disney Plus and watch it, which is one of the most beautiful things about Camp Rock and all these past franchises, that Disney Plus allows you the chance to relive it and go back and relive things like the original trilogy to have a greater appreciation. Just because you weren't a fan of the original trilogy does not mean you don't have a chance to become a fan of the new franchise and go back and familiarize yourself with the other characters. I think we can welcome the new fans of Descendants of Zombies to be a part of our generation of Descendants, because I remember the original Descendants trilogy. I'm old enough to remember that. I've been around for a very long time, and I think we can welcome new fans of this franchise to become a part of our world, to become a part of what we loved about Descendants, and tell them our story. Because one of the most beautiful things about this YouTube channel is it allows you the chance to share your story with the world and everybody about how you were a fan of Descendants, and it gives them more of a reason to believe in their favorite character, because their favorite character may have been Red, their favorite character may have been Mel. What's so wrong with that? You know, why can't we just all get along and you know, accept what it is? Because the times have obviously changed. The generation of stars that we were remembered, we're never going to have the chance to experience again, because this is the last of a generation. So because this is the last of a generation of Disney stars, I think they deserve to be honored. They deserve to be credited for how far they've come, because they have come a long way, and they have put up with their fair share of criticism, something I've wanted to take away, and I've always wanted to do something about. Because when you can give somebody hope of believing in Kylie Control's future and to know they're going to be a part of it, that's what makes this so special. Because I'm not going to lie to you guys, I thought Kylie Control was the most beautiful person that I had ever laid eyes on. And if there was one person I was going to talk about on this show, it was going to be Kylie Control. I instantly wanted to give Kylie Control a chance because I fell in love with her. Her ability to entertain, her ability to bring these characters to life and tell stories about each character in such an emphatic way, especially Red. Because Red was a very different character who you guys remember, who all she ever wanted to do was paint the town red. And when she was finally given the chance to paint Wonderland completely red, she ran away with it. It may have came at the expense of driving a side-by-side through a rabbit hole that may have been closed for years and going crazy against her mother, but the thing was, she did it. Because that's all she ever wanted to experience. That's all she ever wanted to do with her life. And because somebody out there wants to live their life openly and freely, I think they should be encouraged to live their life openly and freely and do what they want with it. Within reason, mind you. But I really do believe that there are people out there who deserve to run away with their dreams, every hope they've ever had. And the one thing that Descendants has always encouraged us to do is run away with every dream we've ever had and make them become a reality. Because you're that much closer to your dream than ever before. And I really don't believe there's anything wrong with encouraging that. Because I know there are people that will say that there's no such thing as forever and happily ever after doesn't exist. But those are people who don't believe. So I think what we can do as YouTubers is we can make believers out of these people. We can give them a chance to believe in their hopes and dreams than perhaps ever before. And maybe that has a lot to do with how I'm over-enthusiastic. But the thing is, being over-enthusiastic and my enthusiasm for Descendants of Zombies is what's allowed me to bring this channel to life, and I've honestly had the time of my life. I never really have agreed with what critics have had to say about Kylie Control without ever giving her much of a chance, but I see, passion from Kylie Control. I see this desire to want to write just as good of music as what Taylor Swift is writing, but the issues I've had with Taylor Swift are pretty much this. When Kylie Control is writing such beautiful music that is different from Taylor Swift's music, she shouldn't necessarily be drawing inspiration from Taylor Swift. She should feel confident in her own ability to write her own music and put herself out there in the way that she wants to put herself out there, not for the way some label wants her to put herself out there and be perceived or how people feel about her. If she feels that she's writing great music, we should encourage that. Because I remember when her song Boot Up came out in 2024, around the same time that Descendants: The Rise of Red premiered. And I remember this girl at such a young age being so excited to put that music out there for the first time ever. She was so excited for you guys to hear this song. She didn't know how well received the song was going to be or what the response was going to be in terms of a response, but you guys blew it up. You put up over 25,000 likes within 24 hours. You put up over 1 million views on the song on Spotify and Apple Music and YouTube Music. And that showed heart and dedication for her. That always showed that same heart and dedication for Malia Baker, which I saw coming from all of you, because this passion that you guys have had for Descendants of Zombies truly blows my mind. There isn't a moment where you guys never cease to amaze me with how much you believe in these stars. And that's something special for us all to feel encouraged about. This beautiful story that we're all going to be a part of in terms of Red and Chloe's future. How they altered the fabric of time and know what Wonderland is shaping up to look like. But there's also a chance for the third installment of this franchise, because there is going to be a Descendants 6 for those of you who don't know. There is going to be a Descendants 6. Sorry to break it to all the critics out there, but there will be a Descendants 6 because there's so much more of a story to be told, and there's so much further for us to go with this thing. The thing is, as we go deeper into this story, there is always going to be more of a chance to appreciate what this cast has done, for their strength, for their dedication, and I just like giving people a reason to believe in this franchise more than ever before. So if there is that one doll on their shelf of Descendants of Zombies dolls that has eluded their collection for forever, that I can't seem to find because it's sold out on Amazon, it's sold out in stores everywhere, it will come for your collection. You will find that doll. Or you will feel more passionate about drawing your Descendants characters, which some of you do the most beautiful drawings of all time for. So I think that's what's so beautiful about life, is that Descendants not only encourages you to collect dolls and all the merch, it encourages you to color. Get the Descendants coloring book out and get your crayons out and color the most beautiful pictures that you put on display on social media for everybody to see. It encourages you to learn the music and to learn the choreographing. There's so much of an opportunity with Descendants of Zombies, and I think it's an opportunity that we should all seize and really take full advantage of. And maybe I'm the only guy that feels that way, but I think that that's what makes this YouTube channel so beautiful and so lovely to create, is the chance to relate to more people than ever before, because some way or somehow you know that one person out there is going to find time in appreciating what you've said and not offer critical reviews that you guys have seen countless times. Because let's be honest, how many times have you heard somebody criticize Descendants without ever giving you a logical reason or explanation why they criticize it? They criticize it because they have nothing else better to do with their own lives. And I've been that one guy, that one constant voice that's always reminded you that something was going to happen, because forever I was saying Descendants 5 was going to happen. Forever I was saying Zombies 5 was going to happen in 2027. And I think more people became believers in what I believed in for this franchise, perhaps more than ever before, because I truly did believe that we were all going to be a part of something special. Because indeed, Descendants 5 is coming sometime between now and next summer, and of course we have Zombies 5 to look forward to, looking ahead to 2027, which I know is forever away for all of you, but I'm going to be here, as we all are going to be here, and we're all going to be older, and we're all going to have this greater appreciation for Descendants and Zombies, which is going to be something really special. It's going to be something special for us all to be a part of, and to feel so honored to have shared in with all of you. Thank you so much for being with me from the very first video that was ever uploaded here. It's forever and always been my honor to create so much wonderful content for so many wonderful people, to have some way of touching your heart and sharing my story with how I became a fan of Descendants and Zombies with the world. It's been an honor that I know that will forever and always hold a very special place in my heart. Thank you so much to everybody who has believed in this YouTube channel and my vision for Descendants and Zombies for what must feel like forever. And as always, thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your busy lives to watch these videos, because it's always been my profound honor to create so much wonderful content, and by far some of the most relatable content in the history of Descendants and Zombies, for the strongest cast and the brightest futures that we've ever had the chance to be a part of. Again, guys, thank you so much for having watched this video. I will return with one final video just after sunset this evening to share my story once again with millions of people, if never billions of people, about Descendants and Zombies, because it's forever and always held a very special place in my heart, and will continue to for many years to come. Thank you so much for having watched this video.